Hey, où est le gare?
Alors déjà, bonjour. Your first time in a foreign country can be intimidating. We know.
Encore plus en France où les habitants ont la réputation de ne pas être si sympathiques que ça.
Dans cette vidéo, on va vous donner des astuces pour bien communiquer à votre arrivée en France.
First, we're going to talk about how to be polite in France. Second, we're going to talk about how to ask for and get directions. And third, we're going to give you some tips and tricks for when you're traveling in France.
C'est parti?
So starting with being polite. Being polite is going to get you everywhere, especially in France, where it's extremely important to always say the right thing. So Sarah, what are some of these things we need to be aware of?
To begin with, you're expected to say vous. On va utiliser le vouvoiement avec des personnes qu'on ne connaît pas. Donc, les étrangers dans la rue, si vous demandez quelque chose, les personnes à la gare, vous allez devoir vouvoyer tous les gens.
So vous is really important because this is the you that puts distance or respect between you and the other person. So regardless who you're speaking to when you're traveling, you're going to want to use vous and not tu, which is a more familiar way of saying you.
Next, the obvious one is bonjour.
Bonjour.
You have to say bonjour.
Always. Always say bonjour.
Puis tu vas apprendre à dire bonjour. Pardon? Je dis que tu vas apprendre à dire bonjour. La chose la plus importante dans la vie. Si tu dis bien bonjour, t'as fait la moitié du chemin.
Or bonsoir, if it's after 6 p.m. usually.
And you need to say bonjour anytime you're coming into contact with someone or wanting a service. Because believe me, by experience, they will be rude to you or not respond at all.
That is true. À la boulangerie.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. En montant dans le bus.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Dans un magasin.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Aux toilettes publiques.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. To the nearby cat.
Bonjour. Meow. Needless to say, saying bonjour is very important.
Yes. Also, you will need other words such as excusez-moi or pardon.
So let's say you're in the metro and you need to get out and there's too many people, you can say, oh, excusez-moi, pardon.
Yes.
Something else that's very important is when you're asking for something, make sure you always say, s'il vous plaît.
And when people answer you, you say, of course, thank you. Merci. You can even say merci beaucoup.
And of course, just like saying hello is really important, so is saying goodbye.
To say goodbye, you can say au revoir or bonne journée. Of course, you can say bonne soirée if it's at night.
Bonne journée, this means have a good day, and bonne soirée, this is have a good evening. However, you'll probably hear French people combine a few different goodbyes. So let's say you're leaving a restaurant. What would you say?
Merci beaucoup, au revoir, bonne soirée. You can never be too polite.
Never, never. Also, when we want to be polite, there is another magic word,
Voudrais.
as in,
Je voudrais.
which means,
I would like.
that's not bad, huh? I like that. So, je voudrais, this can be followed either by another verb or by an object, by a thing. So, for example, with a verb
Je voudrais savoir où est la gare.
and with a thing,
Je voudrais un ticket de bus.
now, if you want to ask, could you, we have something else we would say.
Pourriez-vous?
And this will have followed by a verb. So, for example,
Pourriez-vous m'aider à trouver la gare?
or,
Pourriez-vous m'indiquer le chemin?
now that we have politeness covered, let's talk about getting around town.
That's important.
Imagine you're walking around in Paris, in Lyon, and you're like,
Je suis perdue.
I don't know where I am. What are you gonna say?
So to ask your way around, you can use 3 different sentences. The first one would be où est quelque chose. Par exemple,
Où est la Tour Eiffel? Où est la place Bellecour?
another sentence you can use is où se trouve quelque chose. Par exemple,
Où se trouve l'opéra?
the last sentence you can use is où est situé quelque chose. Par exemple,
Où est située la basilique de Fourvière? Now, when somebody's going to respond to you, you might hear some of the following words. À l'entrée de,
right when you enter,
au fond de,
at the end of,
à droite,
to the right,
à gauche,
to the left,
devant,
in front of,
derrière,
behind,
and finally en face de.
facing. For example, if I ask, excusez-moi, où se trouve la gare, s'il vous plaît?
Alors, donc, c'est au fond à gauche, puis à droite derrière la boulangerie.
Ah, super. Merci beaucoup. Bonne journée.
Au revoir. Now, the following words we're going to talk about are places you're probably going to want to look for or ask about.
For example, la gare au féminin,
The train station,
l'arrêt de bus au masculin,
the bus stop,
l'aéroport au masculin,
the airport,
and finally, la station de métro au féminin.
the metro station.
If you want to go around the city, you will need a mean of transportation. Most often, you will buy a bus ticket or a subway ticket.
So here are some words to know exactly what ticket you need to buy. First off, you're going to go up to un guichet or une borne. So un guichet, this is a ticket counter, et une borne, this is a ticket machine.
The first kind of ticket you can buy is a single ticket, which in French would usually be un ticket à l'unité.
However, if you want a ticket to go somewhere and to come back, that's un ticket aller-retour. And in some cities, you can actually get a day pass ticket or a few days pass ticket. Now, every city is different. Sometimes they have ticket deals, so you can get a 24-hour ticket or a 48-hour ticket or 72 hours. It depends on the city and it depends the offers. But if you want a 24-hour ticket, you want to look for.
Un ticket journée.
And don't forget, if you are using a ticket machine, there are often multiple languages.
If you are lost, don't hesitate to ask. If you're being polite, people will help you. And if they don't know, they will tell you they don't know. Usually, it will be something like
Excusez-moi, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Où est l'office du tourisme?
Oh là là. J'en ai aucune idée. Je sais pas du tout, je suis désolée.
Oh, pas de problème, bah, merci beaucoup.
Bonne journée.
À vous aussi, au
Au
revoir.
revoir.
You win!
Next, let's talk about etiquette on the metro. First of all, please do not talk loud when you're there, whether it's with friends or on the phone. It could actually cause pickpockets to come towards you because they know you're not paying attention. And you want to make sure your stuff is with you at all times. So definitely be checking your pockets. Make sure if you have a bag on the metro, you keep it in front of you and not behind you.
Be very careful if you lose your luggage and the train station office is finding it, they will label it as a potential bomb, so you will not get it back.
Finally, try to speak French as much as you can. Even if it's just a little bit, a little goes a long way.
First, let me apologize for speaking English.
No, Patricia doesn't speak English.
Patricia, je voudrais partager quelques idées sur la manière dont nous pourrions améliorer l'engagement des médias.
Non.
Another tip for you would be to use the app Citymapper. You can use it in lots of French cities such as Lyon, Paris, Bordeaux, and a lot more.
Paris. What can you do on this app, Sarah?
Alors, ça combine les métros, les horaires de métro, de bus, tous les transports en commun de la ville, plus Google Maps, plus à pied. T'as tout en un en fait.
Okay.
Et c'est vachement pratique, ça te dit
And you
exactement
can
où
put in
aller.
your itinerary and stuff?
Exactement.
Okay.
Et ça te dit où descendre, à quelle plateforme, ça te dit où te mettre, etc.
Okay.
C'est pratique parce que c'est tout au même endroit.
You can use this app to put in your itinerary of where you want to go, and it uses Google Maps, it uses the local transport, and it'll help you find the best itinerary to get around.
Et vous, quelles sont les choses à faire et ne pas faire en France, à votre avis? Dites-nous en commentaire.
So tell us, what are the do's and don'ts of traveling in French? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch.
See you very soon and bon
Bon
voyage!
voyage! Excusez-moi.
Superbe.
Excusez-moi.
Tu veux nous faire de la SMR?